Namaste, everyone. On behalf of the Moms Orchid family, I welcome you all in our first informative Talk Fest. Our today's discussion topic is the most common neurodevelopment disorder in the kids, which is ADHD. ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. By now, around 2 to 7% of the kids globally are affected by ADHD. The study says that boys are 3 times more likely to develop ADHD than girls. It is generally visible at the age of 3 to 6 years. Many a times we might have any ADHD affected child, but not aware of his or her situation, we would have assumed the child to be naughty, to be aggressive, hyper, and whatnot. We might have stopped our kids to play with him or her. Today, let's rethink. Let's rethink the child's situation. It's not child's choice to be like that. Probably he has been selected as a warrior by the god to fight with these odds. So let's confess it today for the wrong feelings we had expressed or thought for that child and try to understand the issue in a wider manner. To discuss in depth, we have Dr. Upasana Mishra with us today. Dr. Upasana Mishra is an Ayurveda consultant with a rich experience in Ayurveda, yoga, and Panchakarma. She is also an expert in parenting skills, and counseling her patients for a better and healthy life. Dr. Upasana, I welcome you on behalf of all the moms of our Moms Orchard family.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be with you here, and you have created a very good platform for all the moms to display their skills and to bring around like healthcare to everyone through this platform. So, yeah, today's topic is ADHD, as you have already told, and we know it is attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder.
Yeah.
So these children usually lack attention and focus, but even the normal kids also sometimes lack focus. So how do we come to know that a particular child is having ADHD? So we should go into the what signs and symptoms do they have?
Dr.
So
Upasana, please tell us about it in detail because we have just an overview of it, but we don't have the in-depth knowledge of what exactly is ADHD. So please give it detail about it.
So these children usually do not sit still. You won't find them sitting still. You will find they have some sort of wheels on their legs and they are moving around in the house or in the school or in every set of environment. So the first symptom that you have to look into is they are not still at all. They will be always moving around. And next is they have a very interrupting behavior, like whether they are in school or in their or they're in the home environment. They always look forward to interrupting others' behaviors. Like if they are in the school, they start interrupting with their friends. They start disturbing the teachers. At home, they start disturbing their parents or siblings. So this gives them a sort of pleasure, like and attention that they get by disturbing. Okay, and their work, that whatever work you give them, like you give them a piece of paper and with a picture to color, they won't finish that work. Their work is always incomplete. They don't finish the particular work and they start jumping over to the other work. Even that work is not finished. So if you see this, it is becoming a pattern, then it is definitely a thing to look into. And then these children lack they don't remain calm. They lose their temper. They become chaotic. Like in a particular situation, if they don't know how to behave or how to respond, they become like temperamental and they start screaming or shouting. So this becomes chaotic when you go to someone's place or you do it in a playground. So this also needs attention. And they also start like visualize things on their own. They start daydreaming. Like suppose they have seen a video of some bike racing or car racing, they start thinking that we are also riding a bike or we are going through that way, and they start behaving that way. They start moving that way. So these are some of the symptoms that we need to pay attention to, so that we can find out like they have a particular disease or disorder or not.
That's good. We have now a little more knowledge like we had it earlier. So, Dr. Upasana, nowadays generally the kids are highly energetic, they are a bit aggressive, and to gain attention, they try to throw tantrums as well. So, how can we differentiate? Like, how can we differentiate between the normal behavior and an ADHD behavior?
Yes, like you told, the normal kids, they also throw tantrums. They become moody at times, but they do all these things to get attention from the parents or teachers. But
Yeah.
that subsides in some time.
Mm,
When they get attention,
mm,
when they get what they want, that subsides.
mm,
But how do we differentiate between ADHD and a normal kid?
mm,
Like we need to keenly and minutely observe
mm.
minimum of 6 symptoms.
Okay. Mm,
Okay, what all symptoms we have discussed, we need to observe that minimum of 6 symptoms we are finding in a particular child,
okay.
and that too for a longer span of time, like say 6 months to 7 months. We need to talk to their teachers who are attending them in the school,
Mm,
the caregivers, the
mm,
parents.
mm,
All of them should give their inputs, like whether this sort of behavior is becoming a pattern for them
mm,
and whether these symptoms are seen on a regular basis.
mm,
So like this like we also need to observe them in different set of environments: home, school, playground, when they visit someone's place. So all these things will definitely bring to notice their hyperactive disorder.
this minimum 6 symptoms should be there and it should be observed everywhere in uniformity. Like in the school,
Yes,
also
correct.
the child is behaving. It's not like in the school the child is all well, and then at home he is trying to throw the tantrums. Then it can be
Yeah,
something different. It should be the same
normally
behavior should be there. Yeah.
yes, normally a child throws tantrums when he or she sees their parents.
Parents, yeah. Huh.
So this will be a differentiating factor that they have similar sort of pattern of behavior in all set of environments.
Hmm. Hmm. So this is to be observed very
Yes,
minutely. Oh,
yes,
that's good. And doctor, nowadays many therapies are available to treat ADHD. So is
correct.
there any natural method as well? Means what Ayurveda suggests about it? How to treat ADHD according to Ayurveda?
Yes, like in Ayurveda, the basic principles usually lay stress on increasing the brain functions, bringing their concentration to one particular activity or work they are doing,
Hmm.
and definitely to calm them down. So there are classical treatments like Shirodhara, Abhyangam.
Hmm.
So these treatments need a like consultation with a particular physician. So here we might not be able to discuss those, but
Hmm.
definitely we will go around the details of what parents and caregivers can do at home, like what at first hand what they can do at home.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So definitely we can improve their behavior by looking at their diet,
Okay.
and by channelizing their energies,
Hmm.
and by some sort of treatments which we can do at home.
Okay.
So by diet, I mean definitely make it a point that the children eat fresh.
Okay.
Avoid any sort of stale food, food which have any additives like color additives, flavors,
And
artificial
preservatives.
flavors, yeah, and any preservatives. So
Hmm.
these need
Hmm.
to be avoided. Like the child may have allergy to any sort of these things,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
and make it a point that they eat moist and warm food. Okay, because in Ayurveda, ADHD is characterized as a Vatic disorder. We have three doshas in our body, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. This is like categorized as a Vatic disorder. And for Vatic disorder, we definitely refer moist and warm food or liquid, whatever they take. Okay, and like focus on giving them a balanced diet, like include protein from natural sources, egg, milk, pulses, all these
Hmm.
things,
Hmm. Hmm.
and fruits, dry fruits. These also will improve their brain activity by giving them a lot of omega 3 fatty acids. Okay, and we also should include antioxidants. We say that antioxidants are a rich supply of free radicals. These free radicals definitely increase the power of their brain cells.
Hmm.
Okay. So what kind of food we can give to increase antioxidants? We can give them blueberries. Amla is richly available. Lime is always there at home.
Always
So
there.
you can give
Yes.
lime juice. So this sort of food will be definitely helping them.
Hmm.
Foremost thing is
Hmm.
maintain a particular routine for them.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. Like morning when they get up, what they should do.
Hmm.
Like they should have a particular routine which they can follow on their own. We need not tell them. They should get up, do this after brush your teeth or have your breakfast. You should eat this on this day. Monday you will have this as a breakfast. Tuesday you'll have this as a breakfast. So have a routine, and
Hmm.
even similar way have a bedtime routine. Okay, like story reading or reading some books. Or next is like talking about the bedtime routine, what we can do is we can do some introduce some body massages or body oiling, which we call as abhyangam in Ayurveda.
Okay.
Okay. So this will do, this abhyangam. Uh, when they go to bed, just
Hmm.
ask them to wash their feet and hands and
Okay.
then come to bed and take sesame oil. Sesame oil is the best for
Okay.
this Vatic disorders.
Hmm.
Okay. Take warm sesame oil, start massaging that on their feet and palms, spine.
Hmm.
So this will help like reducing their Vata dosa
Okay.
so
And
that they will
relaxing their
become
body as well.
steady. Yeah, steady and relaxation will come to them. They'll
Hmm.
become calm. So
Hmm.
this bedtime routine should become a habit for them,
Hmm.
so that they will only ask like, you didn't give us this massage today.
Hmm.
So they feel calmed down, they'll be relaxed, and when they relax, their brain also relaxes.
Hmm.
So definitely they'll have a good sleep, which is needed for them.
Hmm. That.
And apart from this, they have very high energy. So we need to actually channelize their energy, give them some sort of activity which keeps them engrossed. Like you can give them any household work also, peeling onion, peeling garlic, or something, so that they are engrossed in that.
There
And
are lots of things in the kitchen which can keep them
yeah,
engaging.
correct,
And
correct.
they love doing different things, I suppose. It's not
Yes,
like the
yes,
same thing every time. Pulses,
correct.
vegetables, fruits, whatever is there in the kitchen, and
Yeah,
even the utensils. We I think we
yes,
can
yes, yes.
utilize,
Give them
to make
sorting of
sound.
utensils. Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes.
that also you can give them, like after it
Mm-hmm.
is washed, keep them in that particular place, so they'll
Mm-hmm.
start becoming orderly also.
Mm-hmm.
It's also important. And finally, what I would like to say is give them more love and attention. And you can also have some plants like Brahmi, Tulasi, aloe vera at home. Start giving them small quantity, like 3 to 4 leaves of each, and you will definitely see improvement in them around 3 months.
Okay.
Okay, 3 to 4 months, give them, and you will definitely see some improvement in them. So these are some things which we can do at home.
Hmm.
Apart from this, any classical treatment that is needed after we diagnose them, we will have to definitely visit a consultant or a therapist.
Okay. Okay. Okay, that's great. Means even whatever is there in the house, we can engage them and we can utilize even the plants and the food to cure this thing. So,
Yeah.
Doctor, how important it is to start it or to accept it at the earlier stage? Generally, parents wait, like, let us observe for long. It cannot be anything. It can be anything very minor. So they usually keep on delaying the thing. How important it is to accept it at the earlier stage?
See, parents are the first. They are the first people which come in contact with the kid. So it is definitely important that parents have to have support and acceptance for them.
Hmm.
This is not something which is a grievous disorder.
Hmm.
These children, they need support and love and attention. So as parents, as early as we accept, the
Hmm.
earlier the interventions can begin. We can start the therapies, we can give them attention at home, we can tell their teachers to give attention to them in the school. Okay, and we need to deal with this with a very positive mindset. And the therapist and the clinicians also will support them if parents are supportive. So first, counseling is for parents. Like they need to accept that this their child is very special,
Hmm.
and once they accept, only we can go ahead with the treatment with a very positive mindset.
That's good.
So this is definitely needed.
So it is rightly said that behind every young child who believes in himself is a parent who believed first. So parents need to be focused on the child and they should accept it at the earlier stage so that it can be treated in very well early stage. So
Correct.
Doctor, kids usually spend a good time in the school as well. So do you have any suggestion, any advice for the teachers? Because teachers at times they uh, they face the difficulties to handle the children of ADHD in the class because the class is full of 25, 20 children. And if the one child is ADHD, so it disturbs the whole class. So do you have any suggestion for the teachers as well?
Yes, definitely parents will do their set of things in the home, but parents can talk to their teachers and tell them what the child is facing. So
Hmm.
what teachers and the caregivers in the school can do is they can have a preferential sitting.
Hmm.
Like if the child is seeking attention, make him sit nearer to the teacher so that the teacher can focus on them, or the child feels that the teacher is giving attention to him if
Hmm.
he is having a preferential sitting position in the class. And say he's having an interrupting behavior, he is going around the class and interrupting his friends in their activities. So
Yes.
what we can do is we have caregivers in the schools, right? So we can assign one caregiver to the that particular child
Hmm.
and ask them to sit with them and make them focus on their activity. Nowadays schools are even having shadow teachers.
Okay.
So what these shadow teachers do is they always be with the child, and
Hmm.
they wherever the child faces a problem, they approach this shadow teacher,
Okay.
and they are there to help them.
Hmm.
Like if they do not say suppose the teacher is writing something on the blackboard, and the child is not able to follow that and write it on his notebook. So there will be this teacher which will tell them like write down or dictate them. If suppose there is no facility of a shadow teacher,
Mm,
then the teacher can just take the name of the child. That's enough. So
mm,
they will feel that okay, we are important and we have attention.
mm, mm,
And then apart from this, uh, apart from the class, when they are away from the class,
mm,
even the teachers can interact with them,
mm,
tell them like, oh, you are doing this in the class. So the child will definitely know that the teacher is paying attention to me and knows what I'm doing.
mm,
So these are some of the things teachers can take note of and
mm.
improve the environment of the class as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Means the appreciation matters, the
Yes,
positive reinforcement matters. Means the teachers
correct.
can give the positive reinforcement for every small minor thing the child has done
Yes,
well, and
yes, yes, yes.
a bit of special attention to the child,
Yeah,
engaging the child in the best possible way in the class would help,
correct.
and the shadow teacher, yes,
Yes.
would be great.
Yeah.
So that is a great session, Dr. Upasna. I hope this session would have cleared many, many doubts which our moms or our audience were having in their minds regarding ADHD. Dr. Upasna, thank you so much from the core of our heart for joining us and to equip us with the vast information. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. It was a very nice experience.
And Dr. Upasna, in case anybody wants to have some more knowledge about it, because certainly we cannot go in that depth because this ADHD topic is so deep,
Very vast.
very
Yeah.
vast, so we cannot go in depth in one session only. So if anybody wants to interact with you, can they write in the comment section? And I think we can revert back to them accordingly.
Definitely, definitely. If they mention any particular aspect of ADHD, if they want, then we can also conduct a talk fest or we can write some articles which will help them. So we
Yes.
can do something in that direction.
Yes, yes, that would be a good idea. So,
Yeah.
okay, bye for now.
Thank you.
Stay happy,
Yeah.
stay positive. Thank you so much.
Thank you.